I strode confidently to the end of the stage and put my hands on my hips, patiently waiting for the judges to grade my performance. 10, 10, 10, 9. The winner of the teen model contest is Esther Swift. I happily received the trophy from the host and immediately looked for my mom to celebrate. But unexpectedly, she glared at me. "You missed a 10. That's not perfect enough. You should have practiced more." She angrily grabbed my trophy and threw it in the trash can, then got in the car and left. Hi, I'm Esther, a famous teen model whose mom was also her manager. To fulfill her unfinished childhood dream, she did everything to make me famous. While my peers were at school, I spent most of my time on stage. I had gotten used to the cameras and having my mom follow me everywhere. One day, my mom suddenly took me to a large hospital. I was bewildered when I got out of the car. "Mom, are you feeling unwell?" "Not me. We're going to fix a few things on you, baby." I panicked and ran back to the car, refusing to open the door. The idea of undergoing surgery gave me nightmares. Mom had no choice but to take me home. After that, she asked a famous former model to train me. Once during a practice session, I asked my coach to let me leave 2 hours early because I wanted to go out with my friends. When I was about to leave, my mom suddenly appeared. "Do you know how expensive it is to hire a coach? Go back to practice now." "But I haven't been with my friends for a long time, Mom." "Are they useful to your career? Don't waste any more time." Then she pulled me back to practice to everyone's surprise. Just like that, under the strictness of my mom, I quickly became a famous teen model. That day at the end of the fashion show, my mom scolded me again because I forgot to smile as the organizer instructed. She angrily pulled the corners of my mouth up. "Can't you even do this? How useless!" Unfortunately, I lost my momentum and fell on the road. At that moment, a car honked loudly and hit me. I passed out and everything turned black. When I woke up, I saw only white color. Mom was shaking her head disappointedly and leaving. Panicked, I tried to get out of bed but fell to my knees. There was a sharp pain coming from my leg. Oh no! My left leg was covered in bandages and it looked ugly. Mom hurriedly appeared and put me back in bed as I burst into tears. I can no longer walk normally. It's all over. The long leg I had always been proud of was currently covered with scars. I came back from the hospital and had to stop moving for 1 week. Meanwhile, my mom disappeared for a while, then brought home a beautiful girl my age. I'm gonna turn her into a model. She can make my dreams come true. I'm sorry, baby, but you'll be replaced. I angrily packed up my things and called a car to go back to my grandmother's house. She was very happy when I showed up. When I was a famous model, I rarely visited her. "Make yourself comfortable, darling. I'll go to the supermarket and prepare a delicious dinner for you," she said, and excitedly left. I was lying in my bedroom waiting for her when suddenly I heard a crash in the living room. A thief? I hastily sneaked into the kitchen to grab a pan and walked towards the noise. The thief was wearing headphones and crouched on the floor. When he raised his head, I quickly smashed the pan straight into the back of his neck, like how I learned from Rapunzel. He fell straight to the floor. At that moment, my grandmother came in and shouted, "Oh my God, Galvin!" Turns out it was Galvin, a neighbor the same age as me. He brought my grandma some oranges but accidentally broke a plate and was cleaning it up when I attacked him. While Galvin explained everything, my grandma smiled and invited him to come and hang out with me. So from that day on, he visited me all the time. My grandmother said Galvin was an athlete. He often came home for summer and helped her during that time. At first, I was indifferent towards Galvin, but after a while, being with him helped cheer me up. Once I told him about how I got into an accident that ruined my leg, how ugly my leg was, and how bad it made me feel. However, contrary to my expectations, he replied very coldly, "It's not like the sky is falling. You don't have to overreact like that." Overreact? I can't walk normally and I have an ugly leg. What's worse than that for a model? I angrily told him and left right after that. In the days that followed, I tried to avoid him. But then one morning, the guy next door suddenly appeared at my room. "Wake up, sleepyhead." Before I could reply, Galvin lifted me up and ran out into the garden. After placing me on the bench, he suddenly lifted up his trousers and told me, "Don't think ugly scarred legs are bad." I was surprised to see one of Galvin's legs. There was a prosthetic leg from his thigh down. "Your leg." He smiled and answered my question. Turns out, Galvin used to be a talented and renowned athlete, but an accident took everything away from him, from his left leg to his entire brilliant career. He was in a dark place, but soon, Galvin decided not to mope around anymore and fight against fate. Who says I can't run if I lose my leg? I can still participate in competitions for people with disabilities like me. Don't lose hope, Esther. You can still stand back up and shine. I went back to my bedroom and thought about his words for a long time. Suddenly, I overheard my grandmother talking to my mom on the phone. I immediately jumped on one leg to the door to eavesdrop on them. Mom's voice was booming. "I'm busy with a reality TV show contest to promote my new model. Just let Esther stay there, she's useless now." What the hell? She considered me useless when she was also the reason why I became like this? I looked for information about the contest she talked about and found a show with the theme Top Models Beyond Limits. It was open for everyone to apply. All right, I'll make her regret casting me aside. The next day, I asked Galvin to become my coach and train me on how to recover my leg. Galvin was a true coach from hell. He made me practice until I could barely move a finger, but the results were extraordinary. After only 1 month, I was able to walk comfortably on my scarred leg. Even Galvin was surprised. Then the qualifying round of the reality TV competition also took place. I saw my mom backstage with her new model. Mom looked at me and smirked. "What are you doing here? There's only room for the perfect." I ignored her words and was about to leave when her new model suddenly grabbed my dress with mockery. "Are you trying to hide your ugly legs with this long skirt?" I angrily snatched the skirt back, but she immediately pulled it and ripped my skirt. "Oopsies, sorry. How about I lend you my mini skirt?" "Oh, but you wouldn't dare to wear it, ha 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 ha." She threw the torn fabric back at me and left. Oh gosh. I sank heavily down into the chair as my dress was ripped off. At that moment, the organizer announced that it was my turn and that obnoxious witches to perform on stage. Seeing that, I took the scissors on the table and quickly fixed my dress. Thankfully, it looked even more fashionable. When my turn started, I was walking with confidence. When I got to the middle of the stage, suddenly the hem of my skirt was stuck, causing me to fall to the floor. The torn part was also exposed. My mother's new model walked over and smirked at me, so it was her who was behind it. My scarred leg was exposed in front of everyone and the audience gasped. Ashamed, I was about to run back inside, but my grandma and Galvin kept shouting from down the stage. "Esther, get up. Keep moving." Thinking back to the tough days of training with Calvin, I decisively stood up and ripped off the torn part of my skirt. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a mini skirt and I successfully completed my performance. The next day, my catwalk video became surprisingly viral. The netizen even called it the return of the queen. In happiness and gratitude, I hugged my grandma and Galvin tightly.